welcome to episode 452 of the Geeks for the Win podcast, the podcast from thegeeksforthewin.com, where we cover all things geeky. I'm your host, William, and I'm joined with my co-host, Stuart.
Known across the internet as Casual Terror.
And this week we're doing what we've been watching.
Yeesh.
So, Stuart, you want to kick it off? What have you been watching?
Sure. That's not right.
Nope.
What I have been watching is, well, this came out on Disney Plus, and it blew up my TikTok right when it came out. The Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie.
Hell yeah. I've watched it too. So,
Space Jam, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
you totally, oh my God. I haven't seen Space Jam 2, but from what you've said.
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, actually, in fact, they even make a subtle dig at Space Jam 2. Because in Space Jam 2, there is a scene where there's a rap battle.
Is there?
There is a rap battle, and of course, the tunes rap. And in this movie, Chip, while
Oh yeah,
while seeing the return of the Chipmunks' new rap album of Alvin and the Chipmunks' new rap album, you know, Chip even makes the comment, "Why do they always make the cartoons rap? The cartoons shouldn't rap." So,
and then later they actually rap, and it's so horrible.
And it's bad. It's bad, in a very funny way.
It's bad on purpose to show how dumb it is. Yeah.
But like, this was the sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like straight up. That's what this was.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, because it takes that exact same premise that cartoons live in the same world everybody else does. In fact, Roger Rabbit's in it.
Some of the references they had where I'm just like, really?
No, yeah, no.
Tigra from that Avengers United We Stand show? Like, what?
This movie was made for us. This was not made for kids. This was made for us because of all the stuff that's in it, and like a lot of the older cartoons that show up. And you have to laugh at a character that shows up multiple times in the movie, Ugly Sonic.
He got his redemption.
And I saw multiple TikToks saying that they did not get permission to use him.
That's false.
No, that they used. What I've heard is that they did not get permission to use him, but they changed him enough to be a parody of him, which is the same loophole that a lot of the overseas bootlegs use to get around making crap knockoffs, which is also the plot of this movie. So you know what?
Yeah.
Because it's the plot of the movie, I kind of believe it.
I heard that all those TikToks are actually false and that they actually did like get permission, you know, because I mean they got permission. They had Batman, like.
But you never saw Batman.
You did see Batman.
No, you didn't. You saw the outline of him and with glowing eyes, enough to make you go like Batman.
Well, they actually said Batman though. Like they said Batman.
They did
Batman
say
versus
Batman.
E.T. Yeah.
Batman versus E.T., which is hilarious.
It's so great. Yeah.
Because that's what Batman versus Superman was Batman versus E.T.
Yep. So, so good. Oh, and was it the the Allstate guy voicing Zipper.
Yeah, I'm like, huh. That was not a voice I expected to come out of Zipper.
I don't know if you saw the TikToks about like the Peter Pan like thing. Of how like the original actor for Peter Pan, the story was like way too similar, and people are like a little upset.
Oh,
how like the original actor for Peter Pan back in like when it was all black and white and stuff, like he like aged out and he ended up like I think committing suicide or something like that, like because his life was all whatever. And I've seen some TikToks on that, and I'm just like, oh wow, I that's kind of weird that's like very similar, like
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Was that just an accident, or was I don't know? Is that like I don't know, but um, I think the main two did great voice acting: Andy Samberg and John Mulaney.
I could not help but hear just John Mulaney. Like, Andy Samberg, yeah, I totally got, that's Dale, okay, whatever. But I just
Double O Dale.
That's just Andy Sam. I'm sorry, that's just John Mulaney. I can't not hear that. But also J.K. Simmons.
Great, yeah.
I that was a really funny performance from J.K. Simmons, and I want shots from the booth of him during the fight scenes, of him just going.
Oh
boing.
God, yeah.
Because the noises that were coming out of J.K. Simmons were hilarious.
You could definitely tell, yeah, he had fun with that.
Yes.
Yeah, there were just so many like references that I'm just like, oh wow, okay, that's kind of crazy. I thought it was kind of weird that out of like all the people they could have like done, like here's the all the people they could have done with the scene, they decided to use Seth Rogen for that one scene where it's all the other characters that he voiced. Like
that was funny. That was funny though. That was a funny joke.
It was funny, yeah, but I was just like, you couldn't have gotten somebody else, like.
No, I think Seth Rogen worked with that. Just so you can pull off that joke, and yeah,
they went to the Uncanny Valley.
which is a place.
Oh, I love that. There were the cats from the Cats movie there, and which I think was in the trailer.
Yeah, it was.
But it's still great to see. Like, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I was really like, I was afraid it was going to end up being just plain stupid, like.
Yeah,
but I was hopeful.
I wasn't originally going to watch it, but so many TikToks can convince me, like, okay, this seems like it's better than it should be. I'm gonna watch it, and TikTok was correct. It was much better than it should have been.
See, I'm glad I actually watched this before I saw anything on TikTok. Like, I watched it like the morning it came out, because I was just like, well, what? I got nothing to do right now. What's on? Oh, okay, this came out. I didn't realize this was coming out like as early. I thought this was still a little farther ahead.
Yeah, I didn't realize it came out till after it did.
And I watched it because it's not a long movie. I don't remember.
No, it wasn't that long.
Hour 37. Yeah.
But I also looked at the cast, and one I didn't expect for as short of a scene it was. was David Tennant as Scrooge McDuck, because he didn't even say any lines. It was just
I never
a
even
noise.
thought to see if that was him. Yeah,
it was like he got the credit.
they also had Randy Marsh from South Park.
From South Park in a Disney movie.
And that was straight up Randy Marsh. That wasn't like,
that was no parody.
Yeah,
that was 100% Randy Marsh.
And that's Paramount too, like South Park. So I'm thinking they had to have like, why would they get permission for one thing and then not get permission for the
money?
No one's using Ugly Sonic for anything else though.
Like, no one's using Ugly Sonic.
Oh, it was so creepy too. They were like, "Ew, my human teeth," and then they zoom in.
They kept zoom close up and slow mo of the teeth. Like, stop that.
I love how Gadget was like she made the like fourth wall breaking, like, oh, it's kind of like my persona on the show is actually ended up being my persona in real life, and so I ended up making these things.
I was kind of disappointed she wasn't in it more.
Yeah,
like she showed up at the end, she did a thing, and that was it. That was her entire role in the movie.
They did a good job, but like I was saying, like calling out all the like cheesy tropes that are typical in other movies.
Yeah,
that were in this movie. They were just like, yeah, this happens in most movies, and it's stupid, right? Like, they straight called out a lot of those things, and I was like, that's kind of funny. I like that. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. Like, it's got 82 on Rotten Tomatoes and critics and audience.
That's about right.
I feel that's right. Yeah.
And the ending shot, I will agree, where Jim Cummings was voicing again Darkwing Duck, saying, "We want Darkwing Duck, Darkwing Duck." Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. He's correct.
I am so on board for more Darkwing Duck. Yeah. Those cartoons in the Disney afternoon, right? Disney afternoon, or
yeah.
Those they were so ahead of their time. Like, if you go back and watch some of those, like just the stuff they do, it holds up so well today.
One of my favorite things was this was during the credits, and I paused it to get a better look at it. Was the fake Smash Brothers game at the end of that? You only saw the like the title screen or whatever with all the characters, but it was a Smash Brothers game. I'm like, okay, that's that show, and I didn't look it up. The damn police cat, is it start with a B? Bonkers. Okay.
Yeah. Bonkers was kind of like a semi Roger Rabbit type. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because it was like cartoons, but also like it was animated people. It was all animated, but it was like real people in the cartoons.
Yes.
So yeah.
I remember that, but I was Bonkers. Like, his name was like Bozo. Nope. And okay, Bonkers was that. Okay.
Have you seen the TikTok of the people like pointing out certain stuff, and they're like, oh, and you look at this cafeteria scene, that's a different version of Daria, and it's like, no, that's Pepper Ann. I don't know what you're thinking. Like, that's straight up Pepper
I also heard
Ann.
Daria was. I was like, nope, I don't think so.
That's Pepper Ann, and I've seen lots of like stitches or whatever where people are like, no, that's Pepper Ann. You can that's not Daria. I don't know where you got Daria from that, but
completely different restaurant.
I mean, Pepper Ann's a Disney show, so.
Oh, what Who made Daria though?
MTV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Daria was a side character. Daria was technically a spin-off of Beavis and Butthead.
I thought
because Daria was in Beavis and Butthead.
I only know Daria from the comic strips, so
I didn't know there was comic strips.
I know there was a show, but they're like single panel stuff.
Because yeah, Beavis and Butthead would make fun of her, and they call her Diarrhea instead of Daria.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed this. I was like, okay, movie. Stuart's either gonna hate this or he's gonna like this. There's not gonna be in between, I don't think.
Oh no, this was better, and this definitely showed Warner Brothers how they did this wrong.
I totally agree, and I just
and
I love how like
you haven't even seen it, and you agree.
Well, I've heard tons of stuff about how it's been horrible, you know. So through osmosis, basically.
Yeah.
You know, I know the issues, but I also love how like they went from like the Andy Samberg, John Mulaney, and then like when they would be then they would go into the old school Chip and Dale voices like at certain times.
Yes.
It was I love that they actually like reference that. That was nice. But yeah, it was a great movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So well, that was one of mine. So
all right. So what have you watched?
I watched a movie called Jackass Forever. I've watched all the Jackass movies, and this one's on Paramount Plus now. So, speaking of Paramount, I enjoyed this movie, but not as much because there was just way too much like male full frontal nudity, like more than I remember Jackass having.
I say, isn't that just Jackass then?
Like it seemed like half the movie was that, and I'm just like, oh, there was some crazy shit. Like there's this new chick or this new girl, Rachel something, I don't know. And there's a scene where they're like dressed up as mimes and they have to go through like torture, stuff that like hurts them without saying anything, like, or they'll lose. And this chick straight up like licks like a couple times, like a taser, like the electricity between the two taser like points, like just and doesn't even like make a noise. And I'm just like, yeah, her, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Wow, that was quick.
I was looking right at it as you were describing it.
That was just like, oh my God, that's so freaky. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. And it was funny because Steve was like, I got this. And he immediately makes noise and he's like, fuck, I forgot. I was supposed to be like, there was some interesting stuff. Like it gave away a lot of big things in the trailer. There was some stuff that wasn't in the trailer though. That was a nice surprise, but like they were kind of trying to like bring new people in to see like, oh, maybe these are going to be the people that take it over. But I'm just like, no.
How about no?
How about this? Is it like?
How about we already had a generation try to do dumb shit like they did. how about we don't?
Yeah. It's like, I'm fine with this being the swan song for the Jackass crew, you know? You know, they
I was never a fan of Jackass. I don't like Jackass. I don't like.
Gotcha.
So
I was in that group, you know, the like doing stupid Jackass type stuff. This with, you know, I was a skater and all, you know.
Oh, I was
rock music
friends with
and
those people, but I
100
I did not like Jackass. I never found it funny.
There was some stuff. I mean, it's hit or miss for me, to be honest. There was some stuff I think is funny or really crazy, like the chick licking the taser. Like I didn't really find that funny, but I was just like, it's like just shocked. Like that really shocked me. Like, how can someone lick like basically licking electricity and not make a noise? Like that's just it's mind blowing. But yeah, it was fun, and they had a nice tribute at the end to a former member, Ryan Dunn, who passed away. Like God, almost 10 years ago, maybe, which was really nice. Like that they. 11 years ago. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, the Jackass stuff has always been like hit or miss for me. But you know, most this is like the first time watching like a Jackass thing without like a group of friends, though. So it maybe that's the reason why it didn't hit with me as much as it used to. So, but yeah, it's on Paramount Plus if anyone's interested in Jackass Forever. Um, it's they even say in the trailer like, you know, you know, you can get concussion. I think Steve-O says something about you can get concussions and without them being a huge issue until you're like 50, and Knoxville is 49. So you know this is still going to be is the last chance, you know, whatever that all means. That was in the trailer.
That's not how things work.
I don't know. Like I'm not like, I don't know.
Oh,
but
50, let's hit them. Nope, that's not how that works.
No, but until you're 50, like, and then it becomes a way bigger issue.
I think it's always an issue. I think it's an issue the whole time.
I mean, yeah. Like when there's stories of like,
it's never not an issue.
When there's stories of like Johnny Knoxville had to like have a catheter full time for years, like that's kind of a a indicator that stuff's really messing with them quite a bit. But their big like finale thing they did at the end was like this crazy like paintball thing where they had like people dressed up in, like they had people like on like kind of a merry-go-round type thing where they were like they were having to chug like different colored milk, and then they would go and, you know, try to see who would be the last or whatever, and then that was supposed to, then it ended up being like they brought like this huge like SWAT team army looking group of people with like, you know, paintball, like SWAT team gear with like paintball guns and stuff to attack them, and they, you know, there was kind of a weird thing. But there's some interesting stuff. But yeah, I'm also older, so a lot of the stuff I'm just like, that's not as funny. So I'm kind of okay with this being the end of it. But what's another thing you got?
Another thing I got. Let's stick with Paramount. And this is something that we've talked about already, but I kind of got back into it for a little bit. Star Trek Discovery. Because I never did finish season 1. And with there being a new Star Trek show out, that supposedly is more like what Star Trek fans wanted, but it takes place after season 2 of Discovery. Like, okay, I'll get through. I'll start watching the Discovery, get caught up, and then I'll watch the new show. Well, I got past season 2, and I'm in the beginning of season 3, and season 3 is really not grabbing me at all. Season 1 I thought was fine for what it was. I didn't quite care for it, especially when they went to the Mirror Universe, which were storylines in other Star Trek shows that I never liked. I never liked the Mirror Universe for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
And the Mirror Universe plays heavily in like the last half of season 1. Didn't like it at all. Season 2, though, I really enjoyed season 2. And it was probably Anson Mount. He definitely made that show 10 times better. And now he's gone because now he's in the new show. And the storyline in season 3, I'm not enjoying at all. So, now because you watched some of Discovery, right?
Some being keyword, yeah. I watched the first couple episodes.
Oh, I thought you had actually finished like at least season 1.
No, I don't think I got that far. Yeah, I meant to go back to watch it, but like I think I mentioned to you, like one of the biggest things that kind of kept me from wanting to watch more was there was so much. What was it, Klingon or what was the language?
Oh,
or what,
yeah,
I don't know.
That really does not play. I didn't. Maybe after the first half of season 1, you really never hear it again.
But there's so much in those first few episodes.
It's in those first few episodes, but after that, it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't come up.
And it's like, oh man.
And in fact, this happened in season 2. There is almost a Hunt for Red October moment where it happens on the Klingon homeworld, where it starts in Klingon and then there's a quick transition, kind of like behind a pillar or something, and then all of a sudden they're speaking English, which is exactly happens in Hunt for Red October. So it gives you the sense, okay, they're still speaking Klingon, but we're hearing English.
Yeah, but that's a good way to do that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I mean, there'd be like a 5-minute long scene where they're just speaking Klingon and you're just reading and listening to and it's just like,
yeah, that doesn't last past what you have already watched.
Yeah.
But when I can't get over how the Klingons look in Discovery, it's like they shouldn't look like that at all.
How so? Like I'm not a Star Trek person, so.
Okay. Let me show. See, Discovery Klingons. Can I show like a good side by side image? Okay, yeah, here's a good one.
They got a lot of different Star Trek shows now, though, on Paramount Plus. Like
they got a couple.
They got Discovery. They got the new one. They've got the animated whatever show.
Lower Decks, which is a comedy. More like
it's good. Yeah,
I've watched the first episode. I'm like, It's like Rick and Morty or or Family Guy kind of a thing.
Yeah. And then Picard, so that's 4. They've got 4 different Star Trek shows right now. Like,
actually, there's a second animated.
Oh, there's a second animated. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So 5. Wow. Really, really milking the franchise. Like,
just a bit.
They're still giving hope on that movie, like the 4th one.
It will not happen now.
Seen like some of the actors, like they've been asked about it. They say they're interested.
Okay, and what happened here? Why do my scenes
If it does
break?
happen, I don't think it'll be Quentin Tarantino like the rumors were. That seems a bit out there.
I would have been curious on what his take on a Star Trek would be.
And more talking than actual action.
And whose feet would we see?
Right? Like
that'd be another thing. Whose feet would we see?
There'd be an alien that's just made out of feet.
There.
Oh yeah.
Like that gives you a good look. Like,
very different.
Why do they look so different? Now, granted, they also look different than they did in the original series too. But at least they kind of explained that away. In, let's see, what was it? In Star Trek Enterprise, they kind of explained it like, oh, these were actually genetically engineered to look more human. Let's see. Yeah, you had the original series is on the left. Most of what I know is in the middle, and then you got Discovery on the far right. And why those look so different, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting.
Because they've not explained why do they look like that?
It's because the creators want to have their own spin on
That's
what a Klingon
not
is.
how things work. Not how things work.
That's how things work in Hollywood all the time. Is they always want to do their own version versus stay true to.
Then you do a reboot, not a continuing story.
Is this like technically in the same or?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if this was part of everything else because don't they have like other people playing different Spocks or?
There is a Spock, and Spock does show up in season 2 of Discovery, and he's fine. I think he's not Leonard Nimoy, but he's good enough, and he's Zachary Quinto showed a bit too much emotion. There was too much emotion in his Spock.
Yeah, I feel like there's more anger than anything in his Spock.
Yeah, and it's not like the oh crap, I don't know his name. The new current Spock. He does show emotion, but not as fervently as Zachary Quinto.
I enjoyed those movies though. Like not being a huge Star Trek fan, though.
Ethan Peck is. Let's see. He was in Nothing I Know.
Sounds about right.
Okay, he was in The Sorcerer's Apprentice, which I watched, but don't remember.
I've come close to watching that a few different times, but I have yet to actually watch it.
Oh, he played young Kelso in that 70s show. That's
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not a fan of where Discovery kind of went. So, but I'm going to tie in my next thing because I watched one episode of the new one, which is Strange New Worlds. Now, what people are wanting with Star Trek are more contained episodes. Maybe have like a story arc that, you know, maybe goes through the whole full season, but definitely more contained episodes, and much less of a serial drama that Discovery was. Well, the first episode of Strange New Worlds, there was a beginning, there was a middle, and an end. Yay! They did what they wanted the self to do. Beginning of the episode. So far, so good.
I feel like that works with Star Trek really well because, like, you could just watch any episode.
I mean,
for the most part, and not have to.
What made Star Trek great was you could watch any episode, and yeah, maybe there is a slight overarching story, kind of like what Doctor Who does. Doctor Who, I felt was pretty good at contained episodes with a slightly overarching story.
Yeah, same model. Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy with that. So, I am going to watch more of Strange New Worlds, but fingers crossed, hopeful. But what have you watched?
I've got an anime that I haven't finished yet because there's like 20 something episodes, I think. It's called Platinum End. Have you seen this one, Stuart?
I'm thinking I need to see it now because that name definitely
gives
sounds
me Death Note vibes.
Okay, I've seen the cover. I've not watched it.
Yeah. Basically, it's very serious and kind of dark, you know, as like Death Note is.
You said it gives you Death Note vibes, and a lot of the images I see would look to be main character from Platinum End next to Light, like standing next to Light. So
yeah.
So you're not the only one.
Yeah. How do I get into this? The main character, well, I guess, the main character, like, he's about to basically kill himself, which is like, okay, that's pretty dark to start out the show.
Sure.
And this angel, like this, I guess, feminine angel, because I guess angels don't have sex or have a sex or whatever, because they don't have parts, or I don't know, whatever, however you want to say. But
depends on which Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'll
this
end
like
that there.
feminine angel, she pops up and pretty much is like, "Hey, I'm here to help you," and basically, basically, God is wants to quit being God, so he has sent out, I think, 13 angels to find people who are like so upset with the way the world is that like they're willing to kill themselves even. And these angels award the uh they award their person that they find with, depending on the level of angel they are, they can get wings to where they can fly like supersonic speed, like it's crazy fast. You can get wings, and a white arrow. No, is it white arrow? Wings and a white arrow, and a white arrow. No, white wings and a red arrow. Yeah, red. Will like basically hypnotize the person for like, I think it's like 30 something days, 33 days, something weird like that. A little over a month. So it'll basically like hypnotize them, make them fall in love with you, do whatever you tell them to, type of thing. And then you can do, I think, up to like 9 to 13. I can't remember the exact numbers, but like you can do a certain amount of people at once. And then once you hit that number, you can't do it until like either the person dies, or one of the people who's under the red arrow dies, or that they're like, their time runs out. Then the white arrow straight up kills someone.
Okay.
So the different level of angels is you can get I think there's different combinations, but like the highest one, it gives you all three. And that's what the main character has. He has all three. Even he's like very adamant on never like using the white arrow to kill. Like he's one of those. Like, I'm never gonna do this. I'm never. Um, and it's like
So like
pretty much. Oh, go ahead.
so okay, so there's 13. Are they trying to like off each other?
It's not really clear what it's just like. It's I think it's like 100 and something days. After 100 and something days, then it'll be like decided who it is. And but with that, there is one person who ends up like dressing up in this crazy like Power Ranger Super Sentai type outfit or whatever, and ends up using his powers and stuff to try to like kill off the other people. And it ends up being where the main character, and then he connects with an old like love interest of his from middle school or whatever, and they team up to try to stop this one guy. And then there's people who are working for him, and then it's this crazy thing where there's just so much going on, and it's so like it's got such serious tones like Death Note does.
I see. Yeah, it kind of does remind me a little of Death Note, but it also reminds me a little bit of Future Diaries, where like 12 people got diaries that could tell the future, and then they had to kill each other, and then whoever wins becomes God.
Yeah, I mean, they're not it, and they even one of the angels even says like it's not even guarantee that if everyone dies and there's one person remaining, that person will become God. Like one of the angels of them even says that, like that's not even a guarantee that would happen. It might just be God might just do another round to try to find people, but this one person's just like so psychotic and just trying to and there's lots of reasons and minute backstories and stuff behind some of these characters, and it's an intense anime, like. And like I said, like I think there's like 24 episodes.
Yeah, this is like just ended. Yeah, like March it ended.
Yeah, and yeah, so it's. I recommend this for anyone who enjoyed Death Note. I think the same people who like Death Note would really like this, because it's got a lot of that same vibe and same tone and seriousness and kind of intelligence, like behind certain, because some of the way some of the characters do certain things kind of reminds me of like certain things in Death Note, like how, what was it, it was Light was the one trying to stop the one, right?
No,
it was the good. No,
Light.
Who was the good?
Light was the one who was working with the police, but was actually Kira secretly. You're thinking of L.
L. Okay, yeah. How, like, he like that. Well, the thing that is, there's a similar stuff to like where there's that press conference of like how they're gonna find and take down, and then the person dies and it's not actually the real person, and you find out, and he's like, oh, interesting, you have to actually see the person in order to be able, and that whole like mindset and trickery and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff like that in this. I think this was really influenced by Death Note. I really do.
Cool. And like I said, when I looked up images, there's just lots of like character from Platinum End next to Light Yagami.
Yeah, like I said, there's kind of like I'm like 17 episodes in, I think 17 or 18. So they've gone through one of the, I've watched one of the big issues get resolved, but there's still other stuff happening, but
that won't get resolved by the time you end.
Maybe not. Yeah.
No. Of course not. Anime. It doesn't end.
There are some like lovey-dovey stuff, but not that much. There's not a lot. I mean, the two are kind of like, oh, I love you too, and I've secretly whatever and this and whatever, but like that's just kind of like it's in the background compared, because there's so much other heavy shit going on that they're like being realistic about things, and they're like, oh, okay.
Hey, you know why it reminds you so much of Death Note? Written by the same guy.
It makes so much sense. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Written by the same guy.
Yeah. It's yeah, there you go. So yeah, I would, that's an even bigger endorsement if you're a fan of Death Note, which Death Note's like, it's like the number one anime for some people. Like some people claim it's like the greatest anime. And it's like, I like it a lot. Yeah, I definitely put it up there. But
those people are weird.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's up there.
It's good. It's definitely one of the animes that I recommend to somebody to get into anime. It's definitely one of them.
But it's it's intense. Like, and this, like I said, this has the same intensity behind Death Note. So that's so sometimes I can't watch animes like that because I'm just not in the mood to like handle the intensity of those type of animes. But I've said before, sometimes I just want to watch like a slice of life, just no real consequences, fun anime, just because like, I don't want to get in because some of those intense animes, they put me in a mood where I'm just like, oh man, that made me feel a way that I've got to like overcome now. Like, which says something to like the quality of the show, like if it can actually like affect your your mood in a way. But I like it. It's really good. I highly suggest checking out Platinum End for any anime fans out there who also enjoy Death Note. I would say if you hated Death Note, you're not gonna like this.
Makes sense.
I mean, there's no way you're gonna like this if you did not like Death Note.
Makes sense.
It's too similar. So I my description of it, I kept out a lot of stuff because I feel like you're gonna end up watching this, Stuart, and I don't want to spoil anything for you. So
sounds like I am. So
yeah. So don't worry, I didn't really spoil much of anything on purpose. So what's another thing you got?
Well, my anime that I've got this week is not a new one. In fact, it's an old one. About 20 years old. Actually. One that I've watched, one that you've watched. And I watched again. I forgot how fucking good it is.
I love that feeling of going back and watching an old one. Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. I remember I loved it. But holy shit, it's really good. It really holds up. I forgot how good it was. And what made me watch Standalone Complex was, and I did this wrong. On Netflix, there are new seasons of Standalone Complex coming out. Like season 2 came out,
really?
I think, like this week.
Wow! Oh my god!
They're in 3D, but it's this continuing story of Standalone Complex. It's not like Ghost in the Shell or Rise, where it's a different story. Not really, it takes place before, when like Section 9 is getting together. It's just a different story. And even Standalone Complex is different than the original movie. That with weird looking major that I don't care for.
That's weird that it's a continuation, because didn't Standalone Complex come out like over 15 years ago?
Well, like I said, this is 20 years old.
Is it really actually 20? Okay,
yeah.
I thought you were like,
nope.
Okay, I didn't know
it came out in like
actually 20.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
No, there is a new Standalone Complex coming out, and it's on Netflix.
Because I remember like watching it on like Toonami back in like high school. I think before Toonami went away the first time or the second time, or I don't know which time, but
when it was an after school thing before it became a night thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw this. I saw season 1. This was a couple years ago, because I think season 1 came out like 2 years ago. And the other day, I pulled up Netflix, and it was I saw Ghost in the Shell standalone complex 2045. It was kind of an advertisement, like, oh, that's kind of weird. I feel like I saw this already. I watched it, and it was a movie. And I'm like, okay, I thought this was a series. So I watched it. I'm like, man, this would have been a really good series. And it kind of left off like, I hope there's a second movie. Is there going to be a second movie? Yep, there's going to be a season 2. Well, why did they call the movie a season then? That's kind of... Oh, wait. This was a recap movie. I watched the recap movie before I watched the season.
Oh, no.
Now, to its credit, it was edited flawlessly. I didn't realize it was a recap because it it didn't really kind of break in. It didn't feel jarring going between things. It did feel long. Because I think it was over 2 hours. But it didn't really. I didn't notice. Put it that way. I didn't notice.
You know, it's funny. I own the Blu-ray of the live action movie, but I've never seen it.
It's not worth it.
I got it for like $10. Like, I was like, oh, $10. Oh, why not? And I've never watched it.
No, but do watch Standalone Complex, which is free on AdultSwim.com.
Oh, really?
Yes. But you can also buy it on
the original.
Yep.
Oh.
You can also buy it on Amazon for like less than $1 an episode.
Is it not on Crunchyroll or anything like that?
Nope.
Oh wow. Okay.
But
yeah, I don't remember a lot of it. It's been a long. Like I said, it's been like high school.
From
like
what I
early
remembered,
high school.
I thought how season 1 ended, I thought that's how season 2 ended. And what I thought was the end of the show was actually the penultimate episode of season 1. I'm like, oh, okay. It actually continues much farther on than I expected. And also I thought that the Laughing Man stuff, which is kind of the things I remembered about Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, but I thought that was season 2. Nope, it was season 1. So like then I remember nothing of season 2 then. So I'm enjoying going back into Standalone Complex. And like I said, I forgot how good it was. I remembered it was good, but just I didn't remember how good.
Yeah. There's a lot of those old animes like that I want to go back and watch, but then I'm like, there's so many new ones out right now.
True.
Like, there's so many. Oh my god! I just keep looking at like the new releases, and just like,
well,
it's overwhelming right now. This season of anime is the busiest I can remember in a long time.
And it was watching this that made me think, we're ending our D&D soon. I'm gonna look into Cyberpunk right now. That's what made me look into Cyberpunk Rad.
Gotcha.
As a tabletop thing. Still have no idea how to play it because it's not a D20 system, so I have no idea how to even play it. But it also made me install Cyberpunk 2077 again because CD Projekt Red said that they took a lot of inspiration on building Night City from Ghost in the Shell, which makes sense on why they definitely feel the same. But yeah, Standalone Complex, phenomenal. It holds up, completely holds up. And also, did you know it takes place in about 8 years?
Yeah, I knew that it is pretty quick. Yeah,
I was like, because it first thing of episode 1, 2030. Like, nope, guess again. But it's an alternate, alternate everything. So
yeah.
What have you been watching?
God, there's just so many anime, Stuart. It's overwhelming. But another one I have been watching is one you've been watching, I think. I know you watched. I don't know if you're watching it like consistently, but I know you watched some of it and you were looking forward to it. Spy X Family.
Spy Family. Found out
Yeah.
you don't pronounce the X.
Oh, really? Okay.
Most of those shows with the X, you don't pronounce the X.
Interesting. That feels weird.
I don't know why
Like
there's an X then. If you don't
I'm
pronounce it,
so used.
why is there an X then?
Yeah. That's gonna take some time getting used to. This anime is great. I love
It's
this.
adorable.
It's amazing that you're watching subbed, I'm sure.
Yes.
But the dubbed is fantastic.
I'm sure.
And we've discussed, we've talked about like when it came out who was playing who, and we were like, who's that guy? And then we looked his like stuff up and was like, oh, okay, he's done some good stuff. Like it's great casting.
Oh wow. They're only an episode behind on the dub.
Oh really? That's interesting. Okay. That's crazy. That's normally not how it is. It's normally like 4 or 5 at least.
Yeah. Let's see. I've watched it. Crunchyroll says I've watched up to season 3, but I feel like I've watched episode 4.
Oh, see, I've watched up to 6. So
yeah, which they're on 7 of the sub. So
I think 6 is where I've watched.
6 is what they're up to right now. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting a bit so I can kind of watch them when I kind of need to, because it's such a wholesome, feel good kind of a show. Kind of want to wait till I need something like that.
Yeah, I get you for sure. God, it's so funny. It's so hilarious. I love it so much. Like
Anya's great. She's adorable.
I'm trying to think. So you've watched 4 episodes, so you've gotten to. Did they do the interview?
That is episode 4. So maybe I haven't seen episode 4.
Okay.
But like I said, I've gotten past that though in the manga.
Okay, yeah. I just I love how she can her reactions to stuff because she can hear people's like thoughts.
It's her reactions that are amazing.
Yeah, cause like the mom character would be like, oh, there's spies or killers or whatever. She'll think something like that, and then she'll just like the girl just freak out like and just it's so good. And it's
Anya's facial expressions are really what made the manga, and I'm really happy that they definitely pull them off just as well.
Oh, it translates in the so anime. Well.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. I'm absolutely enjoying this quite a bit, and it's a weird the world is very weird. I'm not quite sure like.
Yeah, when I read the manga, I'm like, okay, it's not Germany. That's one. It's not Germany. Okay, because like it has a very like West Germany, East Germany thing, but I'm like, we don't know who the bad guys, good guys are.
And it's like, what time? Like, what year is it? Like, it's kind of ambiguous. Like.
Yeah, not present day. That's.
Well, I mean, it could be, but just an alternate
Yeah,
reality of
easily
present day.
just pull out a flip phone, and it wouldn't look as weird.
Because they have like color TVs and stuff like that, and and it's just it's one of those where and it's done well because you don't know what exact time what time it's set in, and it is kind of an alternate world, so it's kind of like a it's one that'll age well because of the way they wrote it. And I'm enjoying this so much. It's definitely I've been using this as I need to laugh, I need to feel good.
Yes.
I'm gonna watch this. Like,
yes, definitely.
There's this and another anime that I've been using that for. The was it the Love After World Domination? I've been watching that too.
Yeah,
it's like these two are my go-to for like if I need to just like feel happy or good. It's just like if I need something fun and silly. Because like they're not the deepest stories, to be honest.
No, and they don't need to be.
But they don't need to be. But they're well, especially Spy Family is so well made. Like it looks great. Like it looks fantastic. I love the look of it. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. What's another thing you got?
This might be my last thing that I got. A new season of a show came out, and I'm not talking about Stranger Things because that came out today. A new season of
first episode's 2 hours.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, you're excited about this. I
was looking forward to this. And
oh no.
Season 1 was so good. And season 2 was okay. Season 3 is still okay. And I think you even said it when I was describing season 2. Like, season 1 had much higher highs, but also lower lows. But season 2 was just it wasn't as good, but also wasn't as bad. Season 3, kind of the same. There wasn't one this season that I'm like, I want more of this.
Oh, that's disappointing. You think they're just trying to play it safe because they're afraid to get canceled by Netflix? Like,
I don't think so.
As we were talking earlier, and then few things get a season 3. Like,
right. But and there actually was a sequel in this first one to a season 1 show. 3 Robots, which is a comedic kind of trio of different robots that are walking through a post-apocalyptic wasteland as like they're on vacation.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's what it was in season 1, and they're just continuing their tour of post-apocalyptic human wastelands in this one, which it's good, it's funny. There was only one though that I really didn't like, but I also think it was probably the best looking one. But the story it told, I really didn't care for, because not a single word is spoken. Because the character that it kind of is following is deaf, so not a single word is spoken, which is fine. But what it was telling was so confusing. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Because there was this lady, she was covered in gold, she was in the middle of a river, she was screaming, and that made other people dance to their death.
Okay.
And then the deaf guy, you know, he captured her, took all of her gold off of her, which made her bleed. And the next thing you know, he can hear, and then she screams at him and he dances to his death. Like, and that was the story. I don't know what the hell that was. But probably the best one, I would say, it's probably the shortest one of the season. Yeah, it's of 7 minutes. It's called Night of the Mini Dead. It is a very typical, standard zombie apocalypse story, but told in tilt shift. So it's like zoomed way out, but tilt shifted in a way to make it look there. Everything is like miniature. And like, and like the voices and like everything's sped up just a little bit, and the voices are high pitched. So it just looks like a toy version of just a standard apocalypse story of just like oh, person running through Southern California jogging trail. Oh no, here comes a horde of zombies. Oh no, and then it quickly evolves into people on an armored bus shooting while one guy yells, "Shoot him in the dick! Shoot him in the dick!" It was very funny. I thought it was very hilarious. Best one of the season.
But still hasn't captured. Still hasn't.
I mean,
captured your like season 1 did for you.
No, because I went back and watched like my favorite one from season 1. I'm like, man, that was so good. That was a good one. I want that. Actually, I watched a couple episodes of season 1. I'll say season 1 was 18 episodes. Season 2 was 8. Season 3 was 9. So not a lot, but I kind of attribute that a lot to maybe COVID.
Yeah, possible.
But yeah, I mean it's still good. Like it's not terrible. But it wasn't as good as Volume 1. All right, what about you? What have you been watching? You got anything else?
Last thing I got. I won't get too deep into it because you probably haven't had time to watch it. It just came out today. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I have not. Yeah, I guess haven't had any time to watch it.
They released it early last night, like 11 my time. So
I was asleep anyway, so
yeah, which I'm like, do that from now on. Release it at midnight Eastern instead of midnight like Pacific time, like they normally do.
How about they do what they did with what was it? Something they released at midnight Greenwich Mean Time. Crap, I forget what was released.
Is that the UK time or?
Yeah, that's
okay. So that's like 6 my time, 7 yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on daylight savings time, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, wherever you set the clock, and for me it's -5. For you it's -6. It's the 0.
Yeah.
In that.
Okay. It's well made. And I'm not gonna get into spoilers, of course. It's well made. It's the first 2 parts have been released because they decided to do that because they pushed it back. Which is it's weird, Stuart. I thought they moved Kenobi to like a Friday release because in like 2 weeks Miss Marvel's going to come out on the Wednesday releases. So I figured they did that for that so that they can they won't have 2 things, airing at this, 2 main big shows airing on the same day. But apparently that's not the reason why they pushed it to Friday, because the next episode, because it's going to come out on Wednesdays, like from here on out.
Then why not release it on the anniversary of Star Wars?
Right? Like, I don't know. It makes no sense. That
was just 2 days ago. Like that.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. Like, it would have been, yeah. But so, yeah, so there's going to be like 3 weeks where we have an episode of Miss Marvel and an episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi drop at the same time, or same day, which seems very counterproductive. Like, why why move this? Why release these first 2 episodes on a Friday? If it makes no sense. It really doesn't. But it's well done. Like, Ewan McGregor's great in it. There's a lot of stuff that wasn't in the trailer early on in these episodes.
Good.
That I was like, oh, this is what the show's about? Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what the show's about. Not a clue.
Yeah. I thought I knew what it might be about, but no, it's totally different. It's like, they introduce they introduce characters that I'm just like, I had no idea this character was going to be part of the show. Okay, weird.
Don't correct me, but what I think the show is about is that Obi-Wan gets wind that the Sith Inquisitors are hunting Jedi and is scared for Luke, so he goes off to kind of misdirect the Sith Inquisitors and take them off Luke's trail. That's what I think the show's about. Like I said, don't correct me, but
that's a good theory. Whether it's true or not, I won't say, but there's some cool action stuff. Apparently there are like characters, or maybe, I don't know, from like the Rebels cartoon already in these first 2 episodes or something like that. I still have yet to watch the Star Wars animated shows, so I need to get around to doing that, but
you should.
The first like 10 minutes of the first episode is like a recap of the prequels.
Okay.
Literally, it's like, I don't know if it's 10 minutes, but it was a bit. There was a good size recap of the prequels. They touched on all the basis. I have the high ground, you know, all the stuff. You got to see the pod racing, him as a kid. You got to see, yeah, he saw. It touched on all the major parts. It's really good. It's worth watching. I'm excited that a lot of people were, you know, like looking forward to this. This has been what, you know, ever since Disney bought the rights to Star Wars, like people have been saying they want something with Obi-Wan.
I do know that Hayden Christensen is in the show.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's no.
So
that he's been doing press with Ewan McGregor and stuff like that, and yeah,
which
that's been
I'm like,
well known.
How is he in the show? I'm very, very curious.
I mean, spoilers. At the end of the third prequel, he turns into Darth Vader, Stewart.
Yeah, was anybody in the suit? It could have been anybody in the suit. That was not even him in the suit.
No, it wasn't, but
it wasn't his voice either.
No, it wasn't, but you know, I mean, what they're gonna, I don't know, they wanna try to like, they want to try to the people who have criticism for the prequels, they want to try to like fix things and make the prequels
I
better
feel
somehow.
like there has been an absolute turn on the prequels and people love them now.
I feel that way too. I feel like it's like cool to like the prequels now.
Yeah.
That's the like sentiment, but like I'm just not a fan of them. I mean, there are some parts that I like, but
there are
like,
parts of it I like. Then there are parts of it that were abysmal.
All the romance was horrible.
What romance?
Yeah.
There was romance? Because I didn't see any.
There was a sad attempt at romance.
I don't think that was an attempt.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's some good stuff. Like, I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, of course. You can't hate him. Like,
he was just Sam Jackson as a Jedi. That's all that was.
He's a purple lightsaber. Come on now. He's the reason. Like, he's one of the reasons we have a purple lightsabers. Like,
it's true.
Yeah. And that, you know, who knows if that's the reason that opened up for all the other crazy stuff, you know? I don't know if other colored lightsabers were in like the extended lore books or whatever like that.
Oh no, yellow.
Before then.
Yellow definitely existed. Before that.
Yeah.
I know there's now white. I know that. There's also black.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to, I guess, by in the next time we do our movie TV, you would have watched some of this, so at least we can go into details then. But yeah, it's good. It's worth watching, you know. I'm excited. This was definitely the show, you know, like I've been more excited about this than I have been Miss Marvel. I'm like reluctant to watch. I'm gonna give it a shot, but I'm just not like.
I'll watch it, but I'm
expecting a kid show.
I
like,
am too.
From that.
I am too.
Yeah.
Have you seen the She-Hulk trailer?
I have, as well as the Disney Plus one where the CG is better.
I don't know if I've seen. I don't know what one I've seen.
Yeah, that's come out recently because there's been complaints where the CG wasn't as good, and Disney came out and said, "Hey, look, if you look at the Disney Plus one, we made it the CG better or whatever." I don't know, but yeah,
I did see some complaints about the first one, but it wasn't about the CG. It was about how she looked. Like, oh, she looks too sexy. I'm like, that's what she looks like in the comics.
Well, there's also been reports
not hulked
that
out like the Hulk.
Yeah, there's been reports that the team, like the CG team, kept getting notes to make her smaller, make her smaller, make her smaller.
I mean,
so people are kind of like
honestly,
a little upset.
She could have been bigger.
Yeah, she could have been a little bigger.
She could have been bigger.
Some of the side by sides I've seen of like the YouTube trailer and the Disney Plus one that they released, whatever, like she does look more defined and toned, you know.
Good.
So that is good. I'm excited for that though, because I love the actress,
and that show, I want it to be a courtroom drama.
Well, we're not going to get that.
I want that to be a courtroom drama.
There will be scenes, because but that it won't be the whole thing. This way.
I want more courtroom than we got in Daredevil.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
I want more courtroom in She-Hulk than we got in Daredevil.
It is going to be 9 episodes though.
Cool.
So it's going to be more than the 6 episode runs we've been getting for these things.
More courtroom. 3 episodes of just courtroom. Yes.
That's what you heard. Yep. So I'm excited about that. I really am. Just because, like, I like, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, look at the Hulk in it. He looks so much." Well, of course, because they've had the 3D model of the Hulk like for how long? Like ever since Avengers, like the first one.
Yeah,
10 years ago. Like, so it's a lot easier for them to use than to create a new 3D model for She-Hulk. Like,
also with that, with She-Hulk though, that's more of her just being in that spot. Than like them replacing her acting in the scene. With the Hulk is not even in the scene usually. That's just pure CG, whatever.
I mean, Mark Ruffalo has been in those mocap suits and stuff like that. I've seen like behind the scene stuff. Yeah.
Differently than She-Hulk. Yeah.
I have seen Kim in the mocap suit, whatever, with like the giant like thing above him that they can look at. To be like, that's where his eyes are.
That's more recent though. That's more like That's more like Banner Hulk, not Avengers Hulk.
Yeah. The stuff I've seen has been like the in-game Infinity War stuff.
Yeah.
Or in-game, I guess. Yeah. Some of Infinity War. Not a lot of Infinity War.
The diner scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think I did see one where like Black Widow was calming the Hulk down in Age of Ultron, maybe. The whole sun's getting real low. I feel like I've seen something there, but anyways, I'm excited. I'm excited for more Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I have no idea what these other Star Wars stuff that's supposed to be coming out is about. I don't know if you know the other stuff that's besides Mandalorian, but like Andor.
I've gotten Andor? I believe that's a planet.
There's a trailer, but I haven't watched it yet, and I don't really know anything about that.
Yeah, I know nothing. I thought I would have told you that was the planet. But I could be completely wrong. Oh, it's a prequel to Rogue One.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it's one of the characters, Cassian Andor, who was in Rogue One. He was the love interest by the end.
I liked Rogue One a lot.
It's a prequel. It's a 5 years before Rogue One.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I enjoyed Rogue One quite a bit. So yeah, that's it just says coming soon. I don't know if there's an actual date or not, but it's just.
And the Ahsoka
Mando
show
got pushed back to next year.
The Ahsoka
Mando
show
and the Ahsoka are next year.
Yeah. I'm curious on maybe it's but she doesn't seem to be doing a lot in Mandalorian and Mandalorian 2.5.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see what she's actually doing.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I feel like that's another one for the fans of the cartoon show.
Yeah.
Like, so that's about it. I mean, so there's other things here and there that I've watched that I'm just like, it's not really worth talking about. Like, so was it the Sneakerella movies finally out on Disney Plus? I didn't like that. I saw that like a year and a half ago for a was it a panel survey thing?
Yeah.
Like, or a focus group. Yeah. It's crazy. Some of these movies where you're like I've watched some of these movies like well ahead of time for these focus groups and stuff, and it's like it'll be like early cuts, and it'll be like CG not placed, and it's like, wait, what? There's supposed to be CG there? Like, some of the stuff they put in that they add with CG just is like, that seems unnecessary. Like, why couldn't you have just made like an actual street sign? Like, why do you have to add a street sign there for later on in CG? Like, just there was a lot more of that stuff than you'd think. But yeah, that Sneakerella movie is not good. Like, not for us. Maybe for kids, but not
maybe.
for grown adults.
I just got very disappointed on Disney Plus. You disappoint me.
Oh?
I looked on Disney Plus, looked at the coming soon section. Limitless with Chris Hemsworth. I fucking loved Limitless. It was a great show. Loved the movie. National Geographic. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Not Limitless.
Yeah, it's not the same thing now. But I mean, it's Chris Hemsworth doing cool stuff. So
I would like to see a new Limitless show and put Chris Hemsworth in it. I'd be happy.
right? Like, then again, like that'd be unfair. He's already so like
kinda. Yeah.
How can you make him better? Like,
well, I mean,
have you seen the new Thor trailer?
Well, in the movie and in the TV show, it was both them just getting smarter. So
yeah. But yeah. People who look that good should not be geniuses.
Given miracle drugs.
Yeah, to make them like the smartest people. Like, that's not fair, because then you become God, basically. Like, anyways, yeah. So that's it for me. I think, unless you got anything else.
I got nothing else.
Okay, I guess we can wrap this up. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. Stuart's at Casual Terror. I am at WillPlayGames_, and we will see you next week with our gaming and tech episode.
And remember, animals were harmed making this podcast.